Hello everyone, this is Ben Brandreth coming to you from the William G. Rower Arena in Cherry Hill, the home of the Cougar Esports Arena. Today we have a very special matchup. We have our Cougar Blue team versus the Cougar White team. White team's going to be home. They're going to be starting on the attack side this map, and our blue team is going to be the defenders on the defense side. We will have a little bit of a disparity here. We have our varsity team versus our junior varsity team. Varsity team is 6-0 at the moment, and the junior varsity team is 0-6. Icebox is a map that the white team is fairly good at. They have put up some good fights on that map in some of their previous matches, despite not having won it so far. So we'll be starting on Icebox here. Comp's not quite a mirror. Only difference here, sorry, two differences here. We have Yuno on the KO and Mangi on a Clove. Sorry, three differences. I didn't realize that Saibao is also on a Reyna. So we have a Reyna versus a Raze. And instead of an Omen, we have the Clove for the defense. So that Clove will be a little bit more useful on the attack side than the Omen. Going into the pistol round here. Attacker is currently looking towards the B site, it seems. Actually, the attacker switching it up, looking towards the A site. Knife coming out from the defense does at least tag one.
Cover going out.
Smoke thrown towards heaven, nade thrown in. Sorry about that, I was just getting some audio fixed. Kills going the way of the attack side right now. King finding one onto Yuno, leaving just Mangi alive towards the B site. This is a 5v1 with a potential for a flawless. Mangi denies it. Getting King. Mangi shooting the turret, but draws enough attention for Apple to swing out from behind. And the pistol round going the way of the white team. I was wrong about which side they were going to be on as well.
Turret out.
Alright, going into the second round here, we have a little bit better of an economy for that attacking side. After that pistol win, nade, gonna catch Mangi. Apple, nice nade there. Saibao goes down to King. Spike plant gonna be started. Wedgel was going for the spam, but doesn't get it as Jadia finds the kill.
Placing alarm bot.
Alarm bot going down, and Spike will finally go down now as well.
Swarm grenade. Placing swarm grenade.
Nanos are just going to get placed down preemptively for that diffuse timer, and it's now a 5v2. Pretty rough spot here on the eco for Cougar Blue. Recon goes out, gets broken, but not fast enough before it finds Yuno. King finding Joker. That's a flawless second round. Really good for the eco of the white team here. And one thing a little bit special about our match today as well is that we do have Coach Jake Fallout playing for the white team, along with his teammates Minx, Jadia, King, and Apple. Apple has consistently been one of the top frags for this team in their losses. So we're looking for him to do that today. Bonus here now for Cougar White. Saibao's head spotted with that outlaw. Doesn't get anything. But most of the pressure is actually going towards the A side of the map. Is looking down mid. Currently doesn't see anything, and King sort of looking at the site, sort of seeing it's free here. Fallout sent in a recon dart, and noise is going to be made now. Nade thrown in, some spam. They're not fully committing to the site yet, and it rotates definitely started. Killjoy and Clove starting to look over towards A, at least mid. Saibao finding Jadia over in B long. And Knife getting thrown out, going to tag 2. Minx, though, finding Mongi in mid. Wedge trading it out. It's a 3v4. And the site's mostly free at the moment, but Joker able to find a nice shot onto Apple. Silverdrone going out, spotting at least one. Shock sent in, doesn't hit. A TP from King, and just goes a little bit too far out into the open, but Fallout getting one with the Shock and another with the Guardian. A 1v2, this is possible. Spike going down. A Nano Swarm thrown out by Wedge Gold. Doesn't find the kill. A rough spot here. Gets one, that's 3 on the rounds. Opportunity for a massive clutch here. Does Saibao know? Oh, he sees the cape. That's a spammable spot. Oh, Fallout, he heard the footsteps. He's aware now. Saibao was no longer aware of where Fallout was, but gets the kill. That's going to be the first round for the defense of Cougar Blue. But a great attempt there from Fallout to salvage that bonus. And that is a lot of damage as well, done to the economy of Cougar Blue. Not everyone is going to be able to full buy here. At least going to have some light shields. And if not, yeah, looking at a Spectre and a Guardian already. 2 Guardians. Fallout getting his 3 kills in that previous round, his first 3 of the match. Currently 2-1 for Cougar's white team. Drone going out, Apple sending himself up with those blast packs. Nade thrown in. King getting shut down by Mongi. Mongi finding another as well. Fallout getting the trade, leaving it in a 3v4. Oh, but Fallout just reloading, peeks around yellow and gets caught. Minx finding Wedge up in kitchen. But then with the Spectre finding him as well. And now it's a 1v3. Spike is held, but it's going to be a rough spot here. Any spike tap will alert the defense. JD finding the first. Saibao going down. Able to get the kill. Stabilizing there, and that is actually going to even things up 2-2 for our score. And that's going to put a pretty important economical round on the board here. Cougar White not going to be able to do a full buy, it looks like. We have a Stinger at least. Same thing on the other side, though. Reyna ult is ready from Saibao on that defense. Hunter's Fury and Omen ult available for the attackers. And a peek right away in B long. Saibao does get hit. And we have Minx now. Just looking down mid, hitting the turret and popping the orb. That actually causes a little bit of a rotate from Wedge Gold, who actually takes some damage from the decay, but he does not take any shots. Apple, in the meantime, finds one long. Mongi finds 2 from behind yellow and gets 2 more with a collateral. 4K for him. Minx going to go to try and recover this spike. Minx was last seen in mid. That's why I think Mongi is going to rotate over there. try and get the ace. Just releasing that util to try and find Minx, throwing the knife, and that will find Minx, who is going for the spike. Just gonna bait a little bit, hold out for the ace, and Mongi finds all 5, getting an ace for the defense. Cougar Blue up 3-2 over White. Great round for Mongi there, finding 4 just from behind Yellow. The 5th a little bit more pushed up, but really great shooting from him. A little bit of an unfortunate lineup, having 2 members of Cougar White go down at the same time from at least 1 bullet, maybe 2. And it looks like, in response, Cougar White's just going to look towards the A side, where Mongi and Saibao are not. Those two of the top fraggers at the moment for Cougar Blue. Joker going to find a quick pick onto Apple, though. And there is a little bit of a weapon difference in this round. Only sub-rifles for the blue team. A flash from Yuno is going to catch Jadia. But so far, respect being paid. A dart tags Yuno, and spam damage is done, but the same goes for Jadia as well. Minx finding Yuno with the stinger, finishing him off. But do they know the Joker's crouched here in hell? They don't until Minx goes down, and Wedge finds Jadia. So now King does find both the Sheriff and Fallout, finding Wedge. And so now the Spike should be able to go down for free here. But 2 ults available. Mongi in hell as Cougar White plays an offsite, but oh, there's a flank coming from Saibao, and he finds it, and that leaves King on just a small amount of HP. The defuse getting sucked to half, and Saibao finishing out the round. Mongi with the defuse, and that puts Cougar Blue up 4-2. So far, just the pistol in the second round going the way of Cougar White, but 4 ultimates available going into this round. Everything but that Viper's Pit. And we do have a full buy now for both sides.
Turret out.
And it looks like we have Jadia going to look towards B. A little bit of a mid lurk from Minx as the other 3 head towards A. A lot of utility put on A, and Minx finds Mongi in mid, just sort of on an aggressive peek and tube, and the ult will come out. Jadia caught by Saibao, and now this sort of leaves Minx in a weird spot, but Minx finds Saibao, and that sort of clears out the B site, and Mongi dies because he doesn't get a kill before that ult goes away, and now on the site, Fallout did go down, and that spike has not been planted. It's a 3v3. Apple, an aggressive swing, finds Wedge. Does take a lot of damage. And this Viper's wall is about to go down. They hear that reload. Apple caught by Yuno, and Yuno able to find Minx as well. And we do have that Omen ult, so from the looks of it, yeah, King is going to TP, grab that spike. Oh, instead, no, he's just going to go for an absolute flank play. What is this?
30
But it looks
seconds
like they
left.
have a read on it. Yuno
Enemy remaining.
doing some damage, but King able to find the kill. Joker spotted, and King clutching the round up. Getting a nasty 2K off the back of that Omen ult. Not quite going to be able to get the spike down at the end for the extra money, but what a huge play to get a 3rd round on the board for Cougar White. Once again, if you're just joining us, today we have both Cougar teams playing against each other. Cougar Blue is your defense at the moment. Cougar White is your attacking side. Currently 4-3 going in the favor of Cougar Blue. And Cougar Blue is 6-0 so far on the season. Cougar White is 0-6 at the moment. So this game here, an opportunity to sort of, prove themselves if you're Cougar White. And you might know some of the strategy of that other team, right? So that could play a factor. King going in aggressive, and Apple with that showstopper as well. But the ult coming out from Yuno denies that showstopper, and Apple goes down. Minx finding one but gets traded by Saibao. King finding one back, and another trade. Mongi getting it. Health is low, and Spike is down in the back of the site. That just leaves Jadia and Fallout, but there is a lockdown and a Hunter's Fury available to use. Yuno doesn't see anything at the moment. Just knife thrown out. Finds one. But that knife alerted Fallout to where he was, and Fallout able to find Saibao as well with the Bulldog. Mongi on 30 HP, low in the situation. The recon comes out. Fallout on the rope gets caught, but Jadia able to get the trade, and that evens things up to 4-4.
Don't stress if I die.
Good round there.
Great knowing you all.
The
Also delete my hard drive.
Ray's ult really didn't get value, unfortunately. It was denied by the ult on the other side, but I'd say overall you would trade that Ray's ult for the KO ult any time, really. The value there is pretty significant. And I mean, and you ended up losing the space, or not being able to get the space really that you would normally get with that Ray's ult, but it's not going to be a huge deal. An eco for the side of Cougar Blue, which means that A site is pretty wide open, as most of the players on Blue went for an aggressive B long push, and Jadia had the right idea there for a second. Minx now going to be spotting this. Has to watch mid as well, and Mongi able to find Minx with the Guardian. This is just going to call for an aggressive counter push into A.
Spike down A.
Fallout taking damage from his own team's nade, and King finding Wedge, but Saibao finding Apple in the back. And now this is up to King to grab the spike and get away.
Last player standing.
And no, it's just Fallout. Left in a 1v4 on what was an eco round, but now guns have been picked up. And that spike is absolutely surrounded. What can he do here? He did well earlier. Unfortunately, nothing. Mongi getting 3 on the round, and that accomplishes a thrifty for the defense, Cougar Blue. And that's unfortunate if you're Cougar White. I mean, you have an opportunity to go up once more in this game against, you know, that varsity team, your superiors perhaps. Just getting outdone on a thrifty round there. A little unfortunate. And here we're going into an eco the opposite way. 5-4 for Cougar Blue over Cougar White. And looks like some pings coming out from the attacking side towards mid. What might be an aggressive play, and there is a push from Tube. Yuno able to find one, Mongi another. And that does leave the spike. Apple able to grab it. Mongi finding one more. Saibao with another. Joker going on the flank. Mongi finding another 3K in this game. Absolutely huge. Getting him up to 16 kills so far.
We should do. I'll tell you. We should win.
And an absolutely great job, even though it was an eco, just pushing out, having the confidence there, hitting headshots, cleaning things up. Now, only 2 rounds left in this half, and so far, Hunter's Fury and Lockdown on the attacking side have not been used. There is a lockdown on the defense as well, and neither's Viper's Pit has been used as well. Cougar White looking towards B long. Saibao in an aggressive spot here, gets smoked off, and a long recon dart getting sent out by Fallout. A little bit of a lineup. We'll see where that lands in a second, and it lands a spot that would catch yellow. Fallout, good flick. Mongi ult popped, able to get one after falling, so it does stay alive now, and that puts the attackers in a 2v4. Mongi very aggressively pushed. Minx able to find Mongi now, but the spike is still down. They're gonna have to grab that if they want to be confident in what they can do in this round. Spam coming out from Yuno does a little bit of damage, but counter spam does damage back. Reload forced, running out of bullets, and Jadia finds a trade. Joker watching mid, and Jadia looking to go onto the site here. Gonna tap the spike plant, see what happens. Wedge here, an opportunity to shut things down, but Jadia, yeah, doesn't spot Wedge gold, and he's able to get the kill. putting Cougar Blue up to 7.
Last round before the switch.
Cougar White at 4. And yeah, if you want to see ults come out here, it's the last chance to use them in this half. I think in general the defense has been fairly aggressive on their retakes or their just their clearance of space around the map, and so you know, an ultimate like that lockdown is
Can't keep doing the same things.
kind of hard to pick a spot to put down because it takes time to, you know, to activate. So it's not perhaps the greatest ultimate for the way the other team's been playing. Knife coming out and is going to tag, I believe, just Jadia. And so since Jadia has been doing some singular plays, they're gonna not really call any rotates, and that lockdown is going to come out. But the counter lockdown comes out on the other side as well. And so now you really don't have the ability to get into the site, but the Hunter Fury coming out. Will this break the lockdown in time? It does. And so the attackers detain one. But they really didn't get the site for it, and now the Viper's Pit coming out. And it looks like, yeah, they're just gonna fully commit to the B site instead, but King sort of abandoned his teammates as Fallout and Jadia left in A. Saibao on a flank. And now King is alone on the other side of the map. And Mongi might just be able to stick the defuse, and yeah, as soon as Fallout goes down to Joker, that is the only possibility left. Mongi getting the defuse, putting Cougar Blue to 8 and Cougar White to 4. Mongi currently 19-9, almost a 2 KDA. Pretty nasty. And that attacking Viper's Pit never did end up coming out. So, you know, a little bit of, you know, wasted ult potential there, but you know, that pit, especially on the attack side, is much more useful if you are able to get a clean spike plant down, and that never really happened for Cougar White. Cougar Blue on the attack side for this pistol, throwing a Viper Wall over towards B, but looking over towards this A site. That is where the defensive Viper Wall is. Fallout on an odd box angle, gets hit once, but does not go down. But you know, finds a kill with the nade. And now Apple, smoked off in heaven, is going to toss a nade as the spike goes down. Wedge taking enough damage to go down there. Yeah, Apple finding the kill, but King did go down to Yuno beforehand. And now it's a 3v4. Mongi finding Apple. Jadia taking some damage. Minx looking to play off a bit and does some damage, but you know, able to close out the round with 3. And oh, that was a knife kill onto Jadia there. A little bit much, a little bit aggressive and uncalled for, really, on your own team. So they're definitely gonna be yelling at each other over that. But a good pistol round win for Cougar Blue, putting them up to 9. Mongi able to get to that 20. And once again, it's going to be an A site hit. There's going to be a little bit of a lurk in towards mid. Oh, and Tube spotted Joker, finding Minx. Boombot out. Apple throwing the nade as well, just denying, but sort of caught in that spot. Able to blast pack out. Wedge finding Apple now, though. Leaving it in a 3v5. And with those worst weapons, it's going to be difficult. There is damage done on some of those players just from the util. Joker taking some damage from earlier. Fallout able to find Mongi, but Wedge finding that back quickly. Now a 2v4.
One enemy remaining.
King going down to Wedge, giving him a 3k. Yuno finishing out the round. And a pretty good anti-eco second round there. Putting Cougar Blue at 10 and leaving Cougar White at 4. This is going to be the bonus round here, so not a heavy purchase from the attack side, just sort of taking what they had in the previous. Maybe a little bit of investment from Mangi, yeah, just since he went down in that previous round. There's still going to be money to buy in the next if they lose. And it looked like there might have been a little bit of force in the defense there last round because they were not able to get a full buy in here either. Looks like the attackers are going towards the A site again. Knife finding Apple, so no nade at the moment to go out. Saibao pushing up fairly aggressively. Fallout already taking some damage, but some being done to Wedge as well. Apple able to find the kill onto Saibao. And Fallout finding one as well. Apple going down. But Spike is down, and they're going to need to collect this. Do they have sight of it at the moment? No, they don't. Jadia finding Joker. And King able to get a nice 2K. A pretty good spray transfer there. Didn't really even reset the aim. Well done. And winning that bonus will put them up to 5. And this is definitely their chance to start coming back, but they have to win this buy round here. Winning this would put the Cougar Blue back on an eco. And they've sent some pings out mid. It looks like there might be an aggressive play there. And actually, the defense here is going to be playing things slightly differently from the look of it. Maybe it's a little bit more spread out. And one thing I will note is that you're putting your Sentinel on the B side every time, and they've been hitting A every time. And yeah, this is actually just going to be a walk up mid. They're going full team going tube. Lots of damage done to Joker already. A Paranoia sent out in tube as well. Apple looking to peek this potentially. Joker able to find the kill though. Minx finding Saibao. Puts it back to a 4v4, and damage has been done onto Wedge and Joker. And now you're 40 seconds in, just a minute left on the clock, and the only space you've gotten is just a little bit forward in mid, and now you have to be careful of the flank as well. Recon going out and clears kitchen, so now Fallout knows that that's clear, and Fallout very well might peek tube here. Decides not to. And now some slow rotates are starting to come in towards the B site. Fallout going back to check on A.
30 seconds left.
And Jadia spotting Mangi. I think we'll call those rotates back over. Oh, and the Nano Swarm and Viper Orb combo able to find Wedge, but Mangi and Joker finding 2 and 1 each respectively, leaving it just down to King in a 1v3. Damage is done to 2 of those players. The Spike going down extends the round in favor of the attackers. And what can King do here? He's going to check backside. TP up. Oh, but just timing a little unfortunate. Looks away from the angle right as Mangi peeks. And Mangi another 3K in this game, bringing Cougar Blue to 11. Yeah, 24 and 11 from Mangi. Really just killing it out there right now. And yeah, I mean, that win puts Cougar Blue back on a fairly good economy. And once again, just a tiny bit of a force here for the defense. And an A push once again. Mangi finding Fallout quickly. And I think that's just gonna have the attack sides call for an even more aggressive push. KO ult coming out. And now Apple and King just gonna play off-site. They're gonna let that Spike go down, group up with their teammates.
Spike planted.
An orb was picked up by Saibao, and Clovalt and Killjoy lockdown are available now.
Get him. Placing sentry.
And it looks like there's gonna be 3 players retaking from Heaven. Apple finding Uno first, Mangi finding King, and Saibao,
Last player
and
standing.
finding 2, leaving it down to just Jadia. And a 1v4, unable to find one. And now map point for Cougar Blue, 12 to
Match
5.
point.
And while the scoreline may be a little unfortunate, you know, we're at 12-5, I will say that Cougar White has put up a fairly good showing so far on this map. It's been fairly competitive in pretty much every round. And it's been a lot of hero plays, multi-kills from
Placing swarm grenade.
the players of
Placing
Cougar
swarm
Blue.
grenade. Placing swarm grenade. Bot coming back.
And as this round starts, Apple sending an aggressive ult out towards A main. Not able to find anything. Minx does get a trade with the Guardian. Space gained for the defense, but they're going to back off a little bit. Minx finding Mongi, but Mongi ulting in return.
Spike down.
But
A.
the kills are going the
One
way
enemy
of Cougar
remaining.
White, and now Spike down on A. It's just left to Wedge Gold with the ult. King with the Stinger, the only one nearby. Minx looks like he's going to peek this. Did have the regen armor. Ooh, and the crosshair was in the right spot, but Wedge getting the kill there. 3 on the round so far. Would have to ace clutch this to win the map. An Omen ult on the defense, stuck into the attacker's spawn. Lockdown available for the post plant or the plant. I mean, I'm fairly confident that Cougar White knows that Wedge
30
is on
seconds
this A
left.
site, and that spike tap will definitely secure it. Jadia finding Wedge Gold, actually off of the back of that smoke, just disrespecting the clove smoke from the attackers and just pushing through it. So another round 1 for Cougar White. 12-6
Turret
is
out.
the score. And now Hunter's Fury available for the defense, which, you know, good to counter that lockdown. And actually this time we see the Viper playing on the A site, switched with the Omen, just a little bit of a defensive switch up. And a 2-2-1 default at the moment. Now looking more like a 2-1-2 for the attackers. Arena ult online as well. Attackers, it looks like they're just going to peek mid. Cougar Blue sort of disrespecting, you know, just going to walk up tube. Mongi all alone on the A site at the moment. And just getting a lot of space for free just by peeking, hard peeking angles without utility. We'll see if Mongi peeks into Apple here. Does. Apple able to find the kill though. But in the meantime, 2 players pushed up tube. Side out. Caught by Fallout. You know, throwing out knife, but they're sort of trapped in tube. Snakebite does some damage and makes able to find Yuno, but Wedge finding the kill trade. A 2v3 now, but a lot of damage done onto Wedge. But Joker finding that kill onto Jadia is really good.
30 seconds left.
What can they do? King hears the footsteps of
Last
Joker.
player
Oh, but
standing.
Joker finding a
One
flick.
enemy remaining.
Apple
Spike
finding Wedge,
down,
leaves
B.
it in a 1v1, and the spike went down, but does Apple know? Joker gonna accidentally snakebite himself off here. Just
10 seconds left.
gonna try and run the grab the spike. But I don't think there's time to get this plant down, and there's not. And so now it just is up to Apple to survive, and he does. Another round going towards Cougar White. As an unfortunate scenario happens for the attackers, just Joker mollying himself off there when he really needed to get in and grab that spike and go plant. And I mean, we either do that or you go for the kill. I think at that point, if Joker realized he wasn't gonna have time to grab the spike and go plant, you really need to just hunt for Apple. But it doesn't happen, and that puts the score at 12-7. 2 rounds so far for Cougar White since map point had been reached for Cougar Blue. Joker making an aggressive push. Just a little bit of an eco, a pistol and a guardian for the attacking side. Viper's Pit gonna be used towards A. And so we'll see what the attacking side does here. Do they decide to go into this or rotate away?
should run.
And Killjoy lockdown going to be used towards A. And the Hunter's Fury coming out, but this is an absolute bait. They are faking this sight hit, just using that ultimate and drawing out the Hunter's Fury as a trade. Some pings coming out to sort of check some of the open space on the A site. And the attacking Viper's Pit is going to come out instead. And the spike looking to go down, and it does. Mongi with a kill onto Apple. Jadia and King finding one back each. Now it's a 4v3. And the defender's lockdown is going to come down. That's going to have to clear the Viper's Pit. And so now, what do you do here? Joker going to try and keep that pit up for as long as possible, and is gonna take a detainment for that denial of the spike defuse. Saibao finding another, and that decay is just so strong right now. Jadia finding one, but not enough to close out the map. And map number 1, Icebox, is going to go the way of Cougar Blue against Cougar White, 13-7. Mongi really standout performance on that map, 382 ACS, 27 and 15, 5 first bloods as well. Did really well, getting multiple 3Ks in that game. And we will be back shortly with map number 2. And welcome back, everybody. We are going into map 2 here. This is Ben Brandreth, casting from the William G. Rower Center in Cherry Hill, the home of the Cougar Esports Arena. Our map number 1 was an Icebox, and it was a 13-7 win for Cougar Blue over Cougar White. And yes, if you're just joining us, we are playing ourselves today. We have our varsity team going up against our junior varsity team. Haven is our varsity team's probably favorite map. They pick it in almost every series, and I would probably guess that they've done so in this series as well. However, it is, out of all of the games that our Cougar White team has played, and unfortunately they've lost all 6 of them, the only map they've won so far this season was a Haven. I think there's a chance that it's our coach Zach Fallout's one of his favorite maps, one of his better maps for coaching as well. And he is playing for the Cougar White team today. And comp-wise, we are going to be seeing the exact same comp we have been seeing from our Cougar Blue team their last few games, which is a Teo Yoru ISO comp as the sort of the special aspect of it, and Omen and Cypher as well. And on our Cougar White team, we're going to be seeing a Breach, Omen, Killjoy with a Jet and Teho. Gonna be interesting here. Teho did get nerfed a few weeks ago, and so all of the matches since have made it slightly easier for Killjoy to operate. Previously, Killjoy utility would be broken right away by any Teho utility, so there was a little bit of an oversight from the developers of the game in that regard. That has been fixed.
Placing swarm grenade. Placing
So
swarm
it is a
grenade.
viable option against Teho now, but it is still a little bit weak to the agent. The Yoru ISO comp that our Cougar Blue team is playing has proved very successful. They love this C take. The one difference this time is that they aren't playing a Sova. Normally they do have a Sova. They like to do a dart TP play on the C site. Wedgegold able to find Fallout with the salvos and a little bit of spam. That's gonna be a frustrating one for the defense to start. An aggressive push in towards B in response after grabbing the orb. ISO shield sent out. Drone coming in from Jadia. I don't think spots anything before it gets broken. Apple and Minx, though, finding one each, finding one before he goes down, putting it in a 3v3, but it is a post plant. Spike is down already, so that puts a time limit on it for the defense, and Joker and Mangi each getting one. Salvos forcing Mangi out of position, but able to use a flash to get out for free. And a team ace, 1 kill going to each player of that attacking side, and that's a pistol 1 for Cougar Blue. So 1-0 for Cougar Blue over Cougar White. Now our Cougar Blue team is currently 6-0. Our Cougar White team is unfortunately 0-6. The balancing of the matchmaking has been a little odd. It seems that the stronger teams consistently go up against weaker teams, and we're sort of seeing that today with our our 6-0 team going up against our own 0-6 team. But either way, this match is special. Wedge and Joker finding one each in sewers, and that's gonna be pretty much all of the defense towards that A site. There is King up in heaven, but isn't going to do anything quite yet. It's going to wait for his teammates. Drone coming out. Jadia able to find one for the defense. And King doing a lot of damage to but Joker decides to go for that kill instead. Vulnerable sent out. Jadia was hit by it. Finds another kill, but not able to get another. Joker with 3 on the round, making it a fairly clean bonus. And now 2-0 for Cougar Blue. And one thing the Cougar Blue team does love to do with this comp is sort of just send it. They love to aggressively push and fairly quickly with their utility. So we'll see if that sort of idea continues this game. We're seeing an aggressive push from Mongi down A long, really just getting the entire space for free. It might just grab the orb here. Fallout gonna breach flash and peek, but the TP comes out from Mongi. They're gonna TP away. Wedge finding another with the salvos. Makes finding Wedge before that kill went through. Joker finding Jadia as well. So now it's a 4v3 in favor of the attackers. Now 4v2 as Yuno finds that one off the peak into B, and that shield is still up. That's because he got that orb afterwards. Yuno is going to peek into spawn.
One enemy remains.
Yuno finding Apple. His Fallout wasn't able to get the kill, but full blinds Yuno, but I think full blinds himself as well. Fallout doing a little bit of damage, finding one, but Mongi cleaning up the round, excuse me, and putting it 3-0 on the board. Joker so far 5-0 on this map, and being that the bonus rounds, defense Cougar White are going to be right back on an eco here. And it looks like we might be getting an aggressive play in sewers once more from the defense. We'll see here. No, it's just going to hold a corner from the looks of it. Apple just going to be sitting there. They do hear footsteps. Clone and flash sent in by Mongi. A drone as well.
It's you and me.
ISO ult popped. Yuno grabbing Apple. Apple with the stinger here. Actually able to find the kill. A great job there. Health is low, and this is going to get cleared as soon as he reappears. But Minx finding Wedge in return. It's a 4v3, now a 3v3 as Mongi finds Minx. Drone coming out from Jadia. Mongi finding King as well. And Jadia was able to spot the location of two. Fallout on the flank caught, and now it's just down to Jadia with the frenzy. Not able to find a kill as Joker finding Jadia. Joker still no deaths on this map, now 7-0. And putting the score at 4-0 for Cougar Blue. The fairly good eco in general from the defense there. They did a decent amount of damage despite their weaker weapons. And now we're going into a full rifle round, and this is the one you really need to win. If you lose, you're going to be back on an eco once more, and that's essentially another free round for the other side. Jadia, 2 orbs away from that ultimate. Going to be looking to use some utility into Garage. And it looks like we're going to have 2 peeking Garage. Yoru ult popped right away from Mongi, going to be clearing out the C site and pushing any defenders away. Does Yuno popping the double tap and throwing out a vulnerable. Salvos coming out from the attacking side. Another shield from Yuno as well. All the utility just popped. But the site is taken. Garage was grabbed for free. Apple peeking into Garage finds Wedge Gold. And now this is an opportunity for the defense to get in on site. Salvos used, but Yuno finding 2, spraying into Garage. Fallout with the Odin. Finding 1, and Aftershock going to be going into Cubby on long. A TP coming out from Mongi, and that Aftershock did force them out, but they can get back in here. Odin spam, just spamming a little too high, maybe forgetting about the hill there a tiny bit. Fallout, and Saibao and Joker cleaning up the round, and Joker still no deaths on this map. So far a fairly dominant 5-0 start for Cougar Blue over Cougar White. Jadia going to be only 1 orb away from that ultimate now. The Teo ultimate is available for the attacking side. We'll see how they decide to use that in this round. They have been using the ultimates fairly quickly when they get them, and that's a fairly good idea because it does allow you to get more ultimates per half if you're able to, you know, get them out fairly quickly, or at least compared to when you get them. This time, we're seeing Jadia sitting up close with a shotgun. It's cleared by the drone, and a shot does hit with the shotgun, but it doesn't really do much damage. Garage now cleared. Jadia holding out the salvos. A TP sent in towards C, and a fake teleport popped.
Cutting through.
But they've decided to leave Wedge Gold in garage here. And they've must have called that no one's re-cleared this, because now we have Magi faking towards the A site as the remaining players just go towards C long, and a TP back from Magi means that it's going to be a free C site once again. And while all of the players on Camden County White are still alive, they're going to have to be doing a full retake here. Magi sitting on top of Fallout in a smoke, and Fallout able to find, sorry, Yuno in that case, Yuno just pushing into the smoke. Magi does find Fallout trying to retake from that position, and now it's just going to play 3 off-site here in C long as Magi sits on site, and that allows Magi to find Apple. A TP placed to allow Magi to get out, and he takes it, and now it's a full off-site take, but Jadia using the dropped Ares, or Odin, and Jadia using the ultimate that was gotten in this round to sort of push out some space, but the site wasn't fully cleared, and now Wedge forcing no one to stick the spike, and Saibao finding to clean up the round, and that means 6 on the board for Cougar Blue, and still 0 unfortunately for Cougar White. And I mean, once again, I said this a little bit earlier, but this is the favored map of the Cougar Blue team. They've had significant success in all of their matches. They've won it 5 out of the 6 times they've played it this season. And Cougar White, despite having won once on this map, has lost it sometimes to other competitors. Fallout finding a quick one, but Wedge finding Jadia, who's going to use that opportunity to push out of garage. Yuno able to get King, and so now it's a 4v3. Heavy spam coming out, but oh, Saibao with a quick flick onto Apple, and Apple wasn't quite able to get a kill before, you know, he was spotted, even though did have the advantage in that situation. Minx doing some damage to Yuno and actually finds the kill there as well. It's gonna peek again, dry, and able to find Wedge, but Magi finding a kill onto Fallout leaves Minx in a 1v2. Shots sent out, and lockdown is committed here, but Saibao goes down and isn't able to get the kill, and Minx I don't think knows here that if she just went for the kill would just went for the defuse, would just get the defuse, and sticking. Magi leaving the ultimate, and a really good attempt there. Magi just decided to, I believe, use the ultimate to try and just get back faster, and it allows him to see the spike diffuser and goes out of the ult and gets the kill before Minx can do anything. I mean, it was a very good attempt from Minx there, able to get multiple kills in that round, putting them up to the top frag
Hit them when they're not looking.
of the Cougar White team, but 7-0 for Cougar Blue. And an aggressive push into mid from Cougar White, but it's not going to find anything, and now this might signal Cougar Blue that they have a fairly free A site. And yeah, they smoke off the entrances, and they're gonna
You and me.
just get the spike down, and ISO ult popped. Yuno finding Minx in that ultimate. It's now a retake. Breach ult coming out from the defense. Does find one in hell, but a trip signals where Jadia is. Wedge and Saibao each finding one, and Joker killing Jadia for the last kill, and once more team ace from the attacking side of Cougar Blue, putting the score up to 8-0, and that is multiple ultimates committed in the last few rounds, all to really no avail, and that's going to be a timeout called for the defense. Apple, you know, one of the captains of this Cougar White team, going to be talking, and Coach Fallout on that team as well. They're going to be coming up with some sort of idea. Perhaps they've got some sort of read onto the attacking side. But I mean, really, the Cougar Blue has been going back and forth with their site hits. We've had spike plants on all 3 sites. When they notice that one of the sites has been weaker, they'll go towards that one, and if they notice defensive rotates, they'll switch back, and so far been a fairly strong attacking half from Cougar Blue, but there's 4 rounds left in this half. Currently 8-0. But, you know, there's still time, and 4 rounds is enough to, you know, have a chance in the other half, right? If Cougar White is able to find these last 4 rounds, that puts them in a fairly okay spot, with, you know, an opportunity to even things up in the next half. Some pings came out there into sewers, and Jadia looks like is going to be sending it down. And 2 players looking straight down C long as well. They must have sort of gotten a read that there wasn't going to be any aggression there. There isn't. Jadia sending a drone out, spots 1, and Magi, right, yeah, is going to TP away towards the C site and gets caught by Fallout, who's on that aggressive play with Apple. Cypher Trip going to have to be broken if they want to progress further, and they decide not to. And so now, Cougar Blue is sort of trapped in mid here. JD and Minx have pushed up fairly far in their positions from the A site. JD is spotted though, and Minx decides to help by swinging out for a trade, and Minx finding 1 and Fallout with another. And, you know, kills on both sides of the map. A little bit pinched, Cougar Blue are at the moment. Fallout though going down, and that opens things up a tiny bit more. Minx and King, the only ones left to deal with this. Vulnerable sent out. King was able to get 1, but, you know, on 3 finds Minx, and a nice headshot, you know, with 4, putting Cougar Blue up to 9. What a round from him. Just really great to deal with that aggression in a spot where really was just playing off of himself, able to use his utility nicely. The double tap coming in very, very handy, able to find 4 kills, and that's gonna hurt for the defense. They had a really nice plan that round. They pinched Cougar Blue, you know, back towards their spawn, and still, despite all of the effort, a hero play from Yuno, able to just deny everything. Multiple players spotted down C long. Flash coming out from Fallout, and a drone from the attacking side. Yuno finding Jadia, but gets traded. A clone sent out. Just Fallout checking just in case that was a fake. It actually was a player. And Magi getting left. But 3 players on Cougar Blue heading towards that A site now, but they're going to be running into the Killjoy setup. Magi finding Fallout and then TPing back. And those nanoswarms are going to do a lot of damage too from Minx with that utility. And that's going to be really helpful now, as that even things out to a 2v2 after Minx goes down. And now Apple and King left to deal with the really low Mongi inside. Oh, but do they check the left? They don't right away. Apple with enough bullets to find Mongi, and now it's just Saibao. The camera is up, and Apple gets a bullet onto Saibao, but Saibao's able to clean out the round. And that puts Cougar Blue at 10 now over Cougar White, who still have yet to find a single round in this map. And that was, I think that was the one out of all of them that was an eco. They had an absolute chance there. If they were more confident in checking their angles there, swinging together, they could have cleared Mongi more quickly, who was really was legitimately on 1 HP. But instead, the round is able to be clutched out by Saibao, and now it's a 10-0. But once again, this is a rifle round. Mongi using the Yoru ult, just gonna run through sewers, check out on this A site, and that's just gonna have Apple go away. And ultimate here from Yuno. Gets a nice flick onto King. Mongi at the same time finding Apple, who was sort of looking in towards the site. And now it's a 5v3. 2 ultimates used, but both finding value for the attacking side. Killjoy is popped, and Minx here is gonna try and make sure no one defuses, but ends up pushing sort of aggressively into smoke. Salvo's finding 2 in A long. in that corner. And now, this is definitely possible. It's a 2v2. Ult coming out from Wedge Golds.
One
But does
enemy
JD check the
remaining.
left?
Last
It doesn't.
player standing.
But Fallout now. Oh, there's no time to defuse the spike. And both players going down to it. But once again, that's a round that you definitely could have
Last
had a
round
chance
the
in.
half.
Great util from Jadia to able to find multiple in that round. But wasn't quite enough, the utility and the ultimates, enough to just delay that spike defuse to the point of no return. And now 11-0, Cougar Blue over Cougar White. Last round of the half here.
Locating target.
And Cougar Blue doing their favorite thing, just running down C long, pushing back Minx off of the site, and Spike will go down almost for free. Just a little bit of a util investment. Apple had popped the knives, but goes down to Joker on a flank. You know,
Time to jump.
on that B flank, does find one before going down to King, and now a 3v4 post plant. Omen ultimate available for Joker, potentially able to use that on a flank. King gonna use his to get some info on the site, but Magi able to find King
One enemy
on
remaining.
the peak, finds Minx on the site entry as well, and Joker getting the kill onto Fallout, securing that 12th round of the half, putting them at 12-0.
Match point.
And now it is the pistol round of the second half. Cougar White, their only chance here to continue this game is to win this round. We will see here if this is a knife fight. That this is something that happened another time when the scoreline was similar, but perhaps the pride in this one is a little too high, playing against your own team. And we have all of Cougar White looking towards that C site. Multiple pinks coming out as well. Utility popped. Mangi TPing into the site, but cleared out by Jadia with util, and I mean, that must be a call from the coach. They knows that that's going to happen. Jadia finding Wedge, and so now it's a 4v3. Spike going down. An advantage for Cougar White now. Drone coming out from Jadia. Saibao finding the kill onto Fallout. And Jadia sort of stranded here on site. Double tap expiring. And Saibao standing on Jadia's head, but wasn't quite aware of it. Joker
Last player standing.
doing some damage, but Minx and King finding one each, and now Saibao with low HP. Left against two players.
One
King.
enemy remaining.
Oh, making it close. Saibao getting Minx there and doing some damage onto King, but King able to get that kill. And now, one round finally for Cougar White, 12-1. And we're going into an eco in it. No investment here on the defense. They're just gonna, it's actually, as I say that, Mangi does buy a stinger, but this eco round here. Oh, it looks like they're actually gonna be going all stingers. They want to close this out right now. And it looks like they've just called for an aggressive push out B, as all 5 players on Cougar Blue just make an absolute run towards window. And I think they might hear the footsteps here. Yeah, they do. Fallout
Player standing.
with the Ares spamming down 3. And that's the value of that gun there, when you're able to just hold down the trigger. Magi the only one left here. And they do an absolutely great job dealing with that force. Cougar White up to 2 rounds off of a 3K from Fallout. And, I mean, definitely a needed round once again. Still 10 left if they want to try and even this out. It's a long way to go, but it is possible. They definitely have the ability. They have the call potential, and in the last few rounds, we've seen multiple pings come out on the minimap before the round from the attacking side of Cougar White. They definitely have an idea of what they want to do. Coach Fallout likely assisting in that heavily. And they're looking towards mid this time. Apple looking in towards the B site. As a couple players are looking towards garage. Smokes come out. Paranoia sent out. They're in on the site. Salvos popped by Wedge Gold, denying a spike at the moment, and Wedge Gold with a classic finds Minx, but Fallout finds Cybout. Oh, but they're on the flank, and able to find King, and Mongi finding Fallout as well. And now a 4v2 that was an eco for the defense is now full of advantage. Jadia and Apple are on the site, but they don't have smokes to really close this off. Jadia is going to dash around, change the angle. Sorry, Apple dashing around and changing the angle, finding Wedge, leaving it in a 1v2, but the health is in favor of Cougar Blue. Apple finding Mongi, and now would need to clutch this with a 3K, but does have the spike. And what will they do here?
I got the spike.
Just gonna grab it and run towards A.
30 seconds left.
It's a fairly good option. Nothing Joker can do to get here in time to deny that spike plant. And this will extend the round. And Apple has the advantage of picking positioning here. And from the look of it, Apple is expecting that left corner to be cleared first if the entry was there, and it is not. Joker decides to go towards heaven. They're just gonna play sewers here, it looks like, until... Oh no, the timing. Joker finding Apple right as he decided to stop looking at heaven, and as the defuse comes through, it's going to be a 13-2 win for Cougar Blue off of an eco on map number 2, and that's a 2-0 defeat or victory, depending on if you're the varsity or the junior varsity team here at Camden County College. Another strong performance coming out from and Mongi, who, both did quite well in that previous map as well. And we here at Camden County College, the William G. Rower Center in Cherry Hill, home of the Cougar Esports Arena, want to thank you for joining us tonight. This has been Ben Brandreth casting to you the NJCAAE Valorant game between Cougar White and Cougar Blue. Thank you very much for watching. We will see you next week. Good night.